Having got the late afternoon train from Luang Prabang, we got to Vientiane quite late in the evening, probably about 7 o'clock. So it was a case of dump our bags, have a run round the night market, get some food and get to bed ready for a day's exploring. Morning all.
Morning.
After a bit of a trek yesterday, you just seen the train journey. We are woken up to a beautiful hot sunny day in Vientiane. We're just going for a wander, but you can tell you're in a city. It's noisy, there's trucks everywhere. There's more traffic here than we have seen
For the last 2 weeks put together.
I think we're going across the road now, quickly.
But, if I get Tom to move the camera, check out the wires. Anyone would think we're in India.
As bad here as anywhere we've ever seen. Anyway, our first stop of the day is this stupa, one of the oldest in the country.
This lovely big brick stupa. I'm assuming at one point it was attached to a temple, but it's not anymore. Just stood here in the middle of a roundabout. Tom reckons this is the oldest one in the country. It used to be covered in gold, and apparently it was inhabited by a seven-headed naga, which is the water serpent, and it protected the city, and it used to lay dormant until needed, and it could take human form if needed. Didn't work in the 19th century when they got attacked though. Apparently it lost its power then.
So we've just done our 857th cache in the city of Vientiane in Laos. This is about the 5th one in the country, because that's all we found, but there are 5 in the city, so we're doing those. So the huge stupa's there, but it's got 2 guardians, and the cache, for anyone who wants a spoiler, is hidden. There's a brick here that's loose, and it's inside the brick there. It was quite a tough one. Some people take 25-30 minutes to find. I spent ages looking. Claire eventually found it in about 3 minutes. Good girl.
So behind me is the Presidential Palace of Vientiane. It's one of the city's most famous landmarks and a national monument, and it features on some of the banknotes. Construction began in 1973, but the royal family were deposed in 1975. So it was going to be a royal residence. It wasn't after that. It was finished in 1986, and the president, can't remember his name, Prahat Lau, it became his residence in 1986. The president doesn't live there, nor is it a residential palace, nor is it a government, the government's not based there. We think it's kind of empty, but it is used for events, for presidential events occasionally. But there's 2 very, very smart looking guards guarding it. We're trying to geocache here and not look too suspicious, and we've got to get closer to it. So let's hope we don't get arrested in a minute. And in front of me is Lane Zhang Avenue, and at the end of it is Patutse Monument, which I think is basically a war monument, and it is believed to be based on the Champs-Elysees with the Arc de Triomphe at the other end of it. We came in this way last night, or came up to there and then turned off, and it's lit up. It's beautiful. You can really feel the French influence. There's a lot of baguettes.
I like a baguette. We haven't had a baguette yet.
We haven't, so guess what we were having for lunch?
Unlike the monks in Thailand that you shouldn't talk to unless they talk to you, and certainly if you're a woman you don't touch or speak to them, the monks just came over to us, asked us if we've been to one of the other temples yet, said hello, and said to us, hope you enjoy walking around our temple. Very different, but very, very lovely. This is quite nice. Nowhere near as ornate as the Thai temples. They don't have the money here as much. But another very beautiful temple. There's some water features. Over there is a 9-headed naga. It's the first 9-headed one we've seen. Dragons as usual, images of Buddha, and one little door into this temple. Unfortunately, like so many of the Laotian temples, the actual doors of the main temple are shut. but we're in a little inner area with some fabulous paintings around again. We came across this, don't even know what it's called. Clare is gonna look.
It's Wat Si Muang, which is the one that the monk at the last place told us to come to. Built in the 16th century, draws bustling crowds with the promise of good luck, according to Google.
Very, very ornate, very pretty. And lots of people in their finery today. I don't know what today is, it's a special day. But yeah, lots of very, very well dressed ladies.
Unless you just dress as in your finery to come here, because it's obviously a good place for photos. There's quite a lot of photo shoots happening. No smoking, no shorts, no vest tops, no drinking alcohol, no kissing, no dropping litter, and no talking.
And there's actually a monk in there doing whatever monks do. People giving their offerings and being blessed by the monks. So walking back to our hotel, we saw what looked like a brand new, great big Western shopping mall. The shops on the outside of it, there was Louis Vuitton handbags and some really posh furniture shops. And as we walked in, it looks like an indoor market stall. That's on the ground floor. On the first floor, this is the first floor. It's absolutely empty. There's not a single thing open other than the toilets. So I'm guessing COVID hit, they hadn't finished it or filled it. That's the first floor. You've got the second, third, fourth and fifth floors, which are all completely empty. There are just corridors and corridors of nothingness, which is a real shame. But look at this, ground floor, we're on the first, second, third, fourth floor, goes all the way to the fourth floor. They are all completely empty. Okay, we might have made a tad of a mistake. The bit we were walking through, we think, is like the local stall marketplace. Boutique? No, that's the stalls.
Yeah,
old-fashioned stalls. But we've just come into the other half of the mall, and it's full, and it's lit. There's a DJI store. Oh no, it's just a electronic centre with DJI.
There's a Starbucks over there.
There's a Starbucks. But again, the floors upstairs, second, third and fourth are all in dark.
Well, second, third, fourth, there's a fifth.
There's a fifth.
Yeah.
So I go back. Oh no, I go back to the fact that I think they started filling it, COVID hit. Anything that was open is probably all being condensed down to the first floor only, the ground floor here. And I think still in the next few years, this will be a buzzy little place. It's got the same kind of feeling as the mall did in Singapore.
There's more downstairs, there's scooters.
Oh, let's go and have a look downstairs. So at the bottom of the mall is a place called Parkinsons Supermarket.
It's Parkinsons. The whole thing is Parkinsons, but they have their own supermarket.
But it is, everything is so nicely laid out and so perfect. All the fruit is in lines. All the bananas are lined up in bunches. Even the cornettos are lined up in the freezer.
Cornettos stood up.
Cornettos stood up and lined up nicely. It's a very, very posh.
Regimented, isn't it? It's very smart.
It's not what you'd expect.
No.
Very, very smart. It's probably not the sort of place we could afford to shop, but I think you've got to be of a certain class to shop here. This is where you bring and leave your Ferrari to park.
Just round the corner is a laundrette, and have your Thai dry cleaned. It's £3 a Thai. I don't know what it would be in England, but £3 is a lot of money here. So yeah, this is the different class of people here.
We had dinner, we had lunch, it was £3.
For both of us?
For both of us.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to have a nose around here, we're not going to buy anything. Can't afford it. I'm stunned. Right, as some of you know, I used to work in a fish factory for a while, so I know the price of fish. These cider salmon, they are, I'm guessing, very obviously had been frozen. I can't believe they're fresh. The price on that is 1,200,000. That is 60 UK pounds for a cider salmon. Something in the UK that would cost 15 to 20 pound at most is 60 pounds. 60 quid.
Wow. I don't think we can afford to stand with them.
And this has shocked her again. Look, carrots are individually wrapped in plastic. It's 8,000. So that's no 50p. 50p for one carrot.
45p.
For one carrot.
But they're plastic wrapped.
That's to keep them fresh. So we've booked another night in the hotel in Vientiane. The wife's dying, so I've been sent out on my own for the day. We're just the other side of the presidential palace that we saw earlier, at a huge temple complex. I'm walking up slowly to what looks like the Arc de Triomphe. There are stupas galore. A lot of these actually look like they're almost like headstones for people. There's people in pictures of them there. It's a proper big working temple with monks doing all sorts of stuff here. And there's a bit of a museum. I'll head myself back to the Champs-Élysées and off to the Arc de Triomphe. So on today's history tour, we brought you to the Patuxai. The Patuxai literally means Victory Gate or Gate of Triumph. It's a war memorial in the centre of Laos in Vientiane, built between 1957 and 1968. It is dedicated to those who fought in the struggle from France. It's also called the Patuxai Arch or the Arc de Triomphe of Vientiane, as it resembles the Arc de Triomphe in France. However, it is particularly Laotian in design apparently, decorated with mythological creatures such as the Kinari, which is half female, half bird. The monument was built using American funds, that's a surprise, and cement was actually inherited to build the new airport. However, the Royal Laotian government built the monument instead. Therefore, it's earned the nickname of the virtual runway. So I've just got myself to the main stupa in Laos. My goodness, it is huge. Absolutely enormous. The main stupa is 45 meters tall and sits on a base that has a length of 69 meters. It is surrounded by 30 smaller stupas and is generally regarded as the most important national monument in Laos and the national symbol. Well, I couldn't get a cab from the stupa. I seem to have pulled down a delivery driver who's just moved all his stuff over. Oh, so as you've just seen, I've had a massive day of walking today. I'm on about 17,500 steps. I had to jump in that tuk-tuk at the end because my legs were killing me and it was hot. Luckily, the fairy is feeling better. I've taken her out to the market. We've bought her some pineapple, some juice and fried rice. She's looking happy. I've bought myself a beer Lao Gold. Not tried one of these yet, just a little can. One of those, a bit of, you know what, crap on telly, and then bed, I think, early.
Yeah, I think so. It's 8 o'clock. We want to be up, and if my body allows me to, we want to be getting out to the Buddha Park tomorrow. And the Buddha Park is a local bus journey away. We went and checked out how to get there, so let's hope it actually works that way and we get on the right bus. We'll find out.
What's the number? 14. So long as it's got 14 on it, then we'll get there. We'll point the map on to the guy and go, is this it? He'll go, yeah. That's all they seem to do. Yeah. Yes sir. Or no.
Excuse me.
Anyway, I thought I'd have a quick squiz. It's a Saturday night. The street market is busy tonight. There's more stalls than the last few days. This hotel is in absolutely the perfect place. There's one or two little stalls in front of us. There's the Sexy Wood restaurant, which we might go and have a look at tomorrow, but the rest of the market is up the street. So, good morning.
Morning.
It's Sunday, and we've taken the bus to the Buddha Park. As everything in the Far East, you've got to just believe in the system. We were told to get the bus 14 from the central bus station, and when we got there was a sign that said 14 and the bus there, but the bus said 140. So we got on, nobody wanted any money, and the bus went all over the place and eventually stopped outside the cultural park, and the bus driver said, here, and we paid our 24,000, which is 12,000 each, so 60p, and we're here at the right place at the right time. The bus was due to go at 10 past 10 and it left 10 past 10 on the dot. So we've walked in the door, and the first thing we see are these, which are like coconut rice pancakey things. Claire loves them, washed down with a Pepsi, because Pepsi is made by the same company that made beer Lao. I don't think you get very much Coke here. It does seem to be Pepsi everywhere.
There is some, but it is more Pepsi. Not my favourite. But...
And yet again, we've got a video of Claire stuffing her face. Buddha Park, also known as Ziang Kuan, is a sculpture park some 25 kilometres southeast from the Lao capital Vientiane, in a meadow by the Mekong River. Although it's not technically a temple, it's often referred to as Wat Ziang Kuan, since it contains numerous religious images. The name Ziang Kuan actually means Spirit City, and the park contains over 200 Hindu and Buddhist statues. The park was started in 1958 by Luang Pu, a priest shaman who integrated Hinduism and Buddhism. His unique perspective was influenced by a Hindu rishi under whom he studied in Vietnam. After the revolution in 1975, he fled from Laos to Thailand, where he built another sculpture park, Sala Kyoku. Both parks are located right next to the Thai-Lao border on the Mekong River, and are only a few kilometres from each other. The tallest structures here in this park can actually be seen from the Thai side of the Mekong. The statues are made of reinforced concrete and are ornate and sometimes bizarre. There are sculptures of humans, gods, animals and demons, Buddha, characters of Buddhist beliefs and characters of Hindu folklore, including Shiva, Vishnu and Arjuna. These sculptures were presumably cast by unskilled workers under the supervision of Luang Pu himself. One notable sculpture resembles a giant pumpkin. It has 3 stories representing the 3 levels of hell, earth and heaven, and visitors can enter through an opening which is the mouth of a 3-metre tall demon, and climb stairs from hell to heaven. Each story contains sculptures depicting the level, and at the top there is a vantage point where the entire park is visible. Another sculpture is an enormous 40-metre long reclining Buddha. I've got to say, this is really quite sad. We're not, as you all know, we're not people who go to rooftop bars, cocktail bars. We don't go out spending money on places.
We do occasionally.
But tonight I said to the missus, one thing I thought we really should do is go to a rooftop bar. I've got something gin and she's got something vodka like, and sit and watch the sunset over the Mekong with the sun setting over Thailand, watching from Laos. I thought that would be quite special, and it does look like it's going to be a lovely sunset. Well, unfortunately that sunset didn't deliver what I wanted. So very disappointed. The clouds were there, the sun went behind the clouds. It's still light. We've had some lovely cocktails. I just want the night. And there we are in the Tipsy Elephant.
And no jokes about one of us being an elephant, but one of us is tipsy and doesn't care about the sunrise. No? Sunset.
We couldn't be bothered to walk far tonight, so we've literally come out the Tipsy Elephant. You can see the sign there. We turned left into the first restaurant, because afterwards we're going over to where all the flashing lights are for another cocktail, possibly to kill Claire before she has to carry her bags tomorrow. We haven't worked out a hotel yet. We haven't really worked out how we're getting there other than the bus to the border.
And we haven't packed.
We haven't packed because the washing hasn't turned up. It won't be dry till 8 o'clock tonight apparently. So we'll be packing in the morning with a hangover. We'll be getting on the bus. It runs every half an hour, so it doesn't really matter what time we get there. We'll just see what happens.
Get there when we get there.
All day's actually put down to travel tomorrow. We haven't really scheduled anything.
And how far we will go? About 20 miles.
About 20 miles, so it'll be all right.
Anyway, important questions. Did you want?
Yeah, I'll have a little bit of shandy. Can you imagine me drinking shandy? Good God. How much lemonade you put in there? I want shandy, not lemonade with flavour. Oh, never mind. The last little walk back to the hotel. And that's it. Early night for us. Yeah, we are kind of quite knackered. Clare is anyway. We've done a lot of walking. So this is our last view of Laos for a while. With tiny hangovers, we packed our bags, jumped on a tuk-tuk to the bus station, and from there we took a bus to the Thai-Lao border. If you've enjoyed our Laotian adventures, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channels, and join us in the next episode as we head back to Thailand.